Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings online, so I am finally going to be starting the update 30 Azanulbizar. Blood of Azog is the name of the update, but the name of the zone is Azanulbizar. And I actually did already start it, but starting with the Azanulbizar part of the questing. So I believe I have done a chapter or two of Blood of Azog. And let me go ahead and remind myself where I am. I'm actually not sure. It doesn't look like it has chapters for the interlude for Blood of Azog. So I have to complete I'll have to complete a deed for the Battle of Azanulbizar. So perhaps actually doing all the Azanulbizar quests. Here's chapter 2. That actually would tell me. But yes, don't know quite what is going on here. Reminding myself of everything that is going on. It's also been a very long time since I have played LOTRO, so it's exciting to get back. I know my streams have been less frequent lately, and I kind of just realized before starting this up that it has been a long time since I have actually streamed LOTRO, so it's nice to get back. And did want to say hello to the Geek Loose and Rohan B. So Geek Loose, you said you want to say you love my videos and keep up the great work. Thank you for that. That is a good start to the stream to have compliments. So it looks like we have Midsummer. I was trying to do Midsummer on Friday, I think it was, but never got around to actually being able to do that. So that's something to potentially look out for in the future, is actually doing Midsummer, but I don't plan to do that on this character today. See, I am very slow getting situated with this character again. Go ahead and use these Virtue XP things. This inventory, it is very messy. I think the main thing I have are the task items, which I don't know if they're important here. For reputation, I don't remember the reputation rewards besides the essences being all that exciting. And then the heritage would be the other thing taking up tons of space in my inventory, but I can't even use them, and I don't think they're really worth keeping. Don't need to destroy them, but I can sell the little cheap ones. And yes, this is a full inventory. It's a very scary inventory. Ooh, I have a nice helmet. I forgot I had that. I forget what gear this character has. That's another problem with him. I just don't play him enough that I forget all the things he does and does not have. I also do have some potential plans to... I would probably want to deconstruct this. This is almost an upgrade, maybe. With the essences, I definitely don't think it's an upgrade. But there's a similar piece of armor, I don't remember if it's this character or somebody else, that has something like that. Go ahead and just sell this stuff. I did not plan on starting this stream by cleaning my inventory out, but that is the way this character is. It's basically my first time logging into him since we did the first stream of the launch, actually, of Blood of Azog, which was like almost 2 weeks ago. And for the stuff in my inventory, I probably don't use it all. That's why it's all in my inventory. I like to hoard all of my stuff, and a lot of this stuff, like all these armor pieces, could potentially one day be useful for an alt or something like that, and they can also be disenchanted into Embers of Enchantment. But because I don't need the Embers of Enchantment, don't feel the need for a ton of those right now, I'm hesitant to destroy them. Okay, these little heritages, these are the ones that I don't mind selling. It's the larger ones that I still think could be worth keeping. I'm going to lock these. I think this is going to be a clean enough inventory. Yeah, I'll go ahead and sell all of these, and then this will be clean enough of an inventory. Destroy that third age item. But yeah, I forgot if I mentioned the other potential things that could be going on today, but is running the raid Fall of Khazad-dum. I still have not done that raid, but there is the potential that I will be able to run that with my kin on Arkenstone today. But otherwise, I suppose I am ready to get started with the questing. I'm actually reminding myself that I got all of the quests done in Abdan. So I basically started with, this is tons and tons of quests, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, I did all the quests inside the actual camp Abdan there. So we are ready to head out. And another thing with this character is I'm really wanting to get him new cosmetics, but what I noticed about Update 30 in general is there seems to be no cosmetic armor sets, which is really odd. But perhaps enough stuff drops from the raid, like there's a piece of every armor slot? I am not sure. We'll have to see with that. I'm sure that information is already out, I just haven't paid attention if it is already out. So the Geek Loose, you are leveling a Burglar, and you got a Hunter at 57 today. Oh, so you needed to take a break from Moria. And yeah, Moria is a place that I would definitely need the same type of break from as well. I don't know where to start the questing. I see I have something in the southeast. There's also stuff in the northwest. It looks like I have to go to maybe some of these camps. So a lot of different options for where I can travel, and probably anywhere I can travel I can do something for quests. Go ahead and get the critter trap. I probably need to kill boars. That's why I'm really excited for the quest today, because it looks like there is something to do everywhere, and I have tons of quests. I usually like that because then I can just get lost on an immersive adventure, ideally. I also cannot hear the game, so I'll have to turn my volume up a little. There we go. Yeah, one thing with this character I know is he has a crafting carry-all, so that definitely helps with the inventory space, actually. So at level 10, around level 10, I would usually actually open with a surprise attack, unless things actually have high health or it's a signature. Maybe cunning attack would be more useful then. But with cunning attack, to get the main benefit out of it using it in stealth compared to something like surprise strike is it would have to do a lot of ticks on the damage over time part to be worth using compared to surprise attack. So usually I use the one that does all the upfront damage to start. It looks like I got a muster in Azanulbizar. I can stay there for now. And also, what spec am I in? I'm in the yellow line. It has been too long since I played LOTRO. I am forgetting basically everything. I think I need to go to the southeast for some of my quests. Also notice my FPS is a little bit low, but it's not as bad as it was in the beta. This is a very crowded and cluttered zone. It almost reminds me of Northern Mirkwood in that way. I don't think it's quite as bad as Northern Mirkwood, but it's definitely reminding me a little bit of it. But anyway, with the FPS, it's not as bad as it was in beta. That was really weird, but the beta made me scared for the update because basically everywhere I went, I was down to like 30 FPS, it seemed like. And I have so many quests, I don't even know where to start on them. And because I have stuff down here, the trap quest, and I also think fur blankets, or something right there in the middle, creeping sensation. Perhaps with those two quests, I do think this is a good path to go ahead and start on. Wow, looks like there were 3 enemies. I saw 2. I didn't think the bear would actually pull, but there were 3. I'm trying to target the deer, which is already dead. Looks like Louisden is still as OP as he was before, so that is good to know. Yeah, basically the first thing I'm doing in the zone is just basically knowing that it is super cluttered. I'm not sure if the things will ever open up. Perhaps the mirror, the lake there, could feel a little bit more open. Hello, Andrew McKenna, and you said to keep an eye out for rare named mobs. The respawn is on a long cooldown, so I want to get them when I can. That is good to know. I thought I heard something about rare mobs, maybe being like shard droppers or something like that. It'll be interesting to see if they brought that type of thing back. I have no idea where to be on the lookout for those, but usually, if I see something like that, I'd definitely be interested in killing it. So it's good to know that is a possibility of something to run into in this zone, and I don't know if I'm going the right way. I'm still trying to get some of these traps, I believe. In Creeping Sensation, I need to check the area, which is right at the river here. I looked into the fish trap. Perhaps that's a completely different quest, but I'll go ahead and use it again. Oh, that is an empty trap. This is just like the... I think that one's empty as well, but I will click it just in case because it's a bit wobbly. It did have a fish. Did not look like it had a fish. But it's just like the Fort of Bruin and quest in Trollshaws. Assuming you can actually see a fish when a fish is in there. Like, that does not look like it has a fish to me, but it says I collected a trap fish compared to the one in Fort of Bruin, and you can actually see when there's a fish in there. This is a weird part of the snowy environment. One thing I've noticed about the zone is it's very blue in general, but it's actually a little purplish reddish down here. But yeah, it's nice to be in a snowy zone as long as it's not making me lag too much. And I don't know that snow in this game makes me lag. I think the FPS drops I have had in the zone are due to just how cluttered it is, it seems like. As an update on the raid, it looks like there are a few people on in my kin. And the one person that mentioned it would be a possibility it just came online, so that is something to still, I guess, keep an eye on. I'll have to update the title. If we actually do run the raid, that'll be very exciting. I'll update the title on that. So, is Warden highly sought after in endgame in LOTRO? And yes, I would say it's highly sought after. Usually it's good to have at least one in a raid, oddly enough, for their debuffing can be very helpful, especially if you are in the yellow line. These two skills, this is a theme in LOTRO, but when in larger groups, often classes can be wanted at least one of for specific debuffs they provide, even if they are like a pure DPS class, something like a Redline Runekeeper potentially. And I'm not sure really what people are running now with update 30 and the balance changes, but that was just one example. And also with Warden, they're very useful for these two debuffs, 10% mitigation on both physical and tactical, but they also do provide good damage. And in terms of skill ceiling, I would say it's pretty high. I would definitely not classify myself as one of the better Wardens. Especially because sometimes when I play a Warden, like I am right now, I am choosing to be lazy and not switch into melee stance, just an example right there. But in a raid, I usually just end up going with the red line. But there's also another element of the Warden, is they are very RNG dependent sometimes. There's a minstrel around here somewhere that I do not see. There is the minstrel, way back there. So with the Warden, I forgot exactly what I said there, but with the yellow line especially, there's a lot of RNG mechanics that I am less of a fan of, even though they can be very fun when the, I guess, RNG goes in your favor and you get certain procs. It is also annoying at the same time. And I guess another thing with skill as far as that goes is knowing when to keep trying the same thing over and over to try to get procs, mainly thinking with spear sweeping. I don't want to go too much into the specific details if you haven't played the Warden, but with spear sweeping, something like that, trying to get procs and just doing the same thing over and over for that, versus just continuing along like your base rotation, not really caring and just thinking procs are bonuses. So I guess there is some skill there as the point, and knowing like which situation which could be better for you. Okay, so as far as checking the area for a creeping sensation, I keep forgetting about that quest. I still need to do it. It's down here in the little river. But yeah, I hope that helps with the Warden. I know my thoughts are probably really scattered, at least they feel very scattered right now. Usually it takes me a moment to settle into streaming again after a long break. But hopefully this next week I could do this a little bit more frequently again. The start of summer has been a little bit unexpectedly busy for me. Especially thinking in terms of videos, there have been, since actually last weekend, I was hoping to do a set of videos that still have not gotten done, and basically some annoying delays there. Okay, so we're still checking traps, but that doesn't really help with the creeping sensation. A creeping sensation is right up over here. There's an inert sapper bomb. There's a shrill yell rather from this tiny goblin. As far as traps go, I don't even see that on my tracker anymore. We don't need this on my tracker, the missions. Wow, I've only collected one trapped critter. Wait, that is a fish trap. I'm really confused right now. So when I hover over the fish trap, it says collected trapped critters instead of fish. But I remember I was collecting fish earlier. All these traps are empty. So I don't know if I got the fish or why it's pointing me to that quest. Okay, so I already got trapped fish. I already got all 6 of those. I just need the critters, which I know are in the cages. I clicked at least one of those. I remember clicking one and I have progress on one. So don't actually need those fish anymore. So trapped in the dale, that quest is up to the northwest. I don't even know if there's a road in this area. I guess there is one right there, but I don't know, the environment in this area just seems really weird. Not necessarily weird in a bad way, but just to start off the questing in what almost reminds me of like a snowy northern Mirkwood is just not what I quite expected to jump into today. There's a trap. And it is empty. It looked empty, but based on the fish quest, did not know if that would be the case. There's also a similar quest all the way in Era of the Wind, where you have to get like a rabbit or something trapped in a cage. And you can see when the rabbit is in the cage, but there's a bunch of cages that are empty, and you can actually see they're empty, so you don't need to click on them. That one, once again, looked empty. Don't know if I'm probably going in the wrong way. I need to go north. Hello, Markantbor. You were wondering if Fred Runekeeper is viable as a DPS spec. So I am actually not 100% sure on that after I left it. I haven't kept up with LOTRO all that well the past week or two. because I have not been able to play the game all that much or even think about or make videos beyond what I have already made covering those topics. There's that minstrel again. Working, it seems like, maybe just as slow as me on these quests. And for a reliable guilds, guides, and builds, perhaps LOTRO HQ would be an option to get started on some of the classes and specs. I forget what exactly they have, what all specs they have, but that could be a website that has some up-to-date ones. But as far as the viability of Runekeeper, one thing I did touch on is Mystifying Flames, I think is the name of one of their traits. They basically have a debuff that decreases the target's mitigation by 5% or increases incoming damage by 5%, something along those lines. So perhaps as a one-oven raise, they could be useful just for that, even if their DPS is like mediocre at best. That is the same minstrel. See, right there, there is no visible critter in the trap, but it does look like a collected one. So it does not seem to be reliable that you'd actually see a critter visibly in there. Okay, it looks like we will be running the raid soon, so that is exciting. It will be my first time in the Fall of Khazad-dûm. Did not do it in beta, because I don't like doing those things in beta. And just finally getting the opportunity to sit down and play LOTRO for longer than like an hour at a time. I also think we had a kin event. One of the recent times I was able to stream, it was like a kin event on Anor. So missed out on the update 30 content during that. I assume anything I see I need to kill. But I have killed so many deer that it actually looks like I have completed all my quest progress on them. Oh, I still need more trap critters. I was trying to leave that area. It's such a small area on the map, and I have only clicked... I've clicked a ton of traps, it seems like, in this small area, but just ran past one, apparently. Could play with floating names on. That might help. We're starting to get more into the normal look of the zone. It looks a lot more blue. I don't know if it's becoming nighttime. It is dusk. Yeah, dusk is the one at night. So yes, it is getting dark. So perhaps in the times that I have played this in the beta and just explored the zone, it would be a little bit more nighttime-ish is why it looks blue and looked a little bit reddish, purplish, almost pinkish earlier. And it could also have just been the area I was in. But we got 1 quest done, 2 quests done. That was a long time for 2 quests, but I am a slow quester. Let's jump down a little bit. And just broke my legs. Okay, so you are leveling through Iron Hills, and you were wondering if you should save your armor with Light of Arindal for Moria instances and Minas Morgul. Light of Arindal, I don't think comes into play at Minas Morgul at all. So after you get finished with Mordor, I believe there isn't anything that really needs Light of Arindal, if I remember correctly. New quests here, because we didn't already have enough quests. I know that probably sounded sarcastic, but I'm actually being serious. We did not have enough quests. We need even more quests. I only have like 20. I think Inadwaith, I mentioned this in a recent video, but Inadwaith is a zone where I was able to get like 47 quests at once, I think, and turn them in. Alright, might as well clear out this orc camp. We'll see, I talked about Louisden still being OP. We'll see if that is still definitely true with a pull like this. I would still say that is accurate. So the camps are harder than Anak Khurfu from Elderslade. That is good to know. I assume with each update that the landscape would get a little bit more difficult. There is a 3-man instance beneath Yarnfast. I did not know that. Utterby, maybe? I remember something group related in Utterby. I don't remember if that was just people farming it, but I don't remember a 3-man instance there. Got a hit on that one, although I don't think it dropped anything for me. There is the Azanulbizar Howling Pit. I think I remember the name Howling Pit. That is in this camp, just to confirm. Because if I actually missed something like that in Yarn Fast, that would be interesting. Like, if it's something you went back to after doing the Grey Mountain Zone, that is a possibility, because I don't think I ever actually finished Grey Mountains. We're in a more open area. This is probably better thing for me to start with, where I can actually see things going on. It was just so cluttered down there to start off. So I'm collecting swords, helmets, shields, collecting a bunch of things actually for this quest. This one's just like War of Three Peaks with the War and Battle going on. At least a little bit like it. I don't know just like it, but yeah, maybe a little bit like it. And this is where I'm really laggy right now, FPS wise. I thought it was a little bit lower than, like, it's going down to upper 30s it looks like. It felt like it was even lower than that, but that is just the reality of LOTRO when you have so many things going on. The FPS goes down. So in Howling Pit, the Shadow of Mordor gets up to 200 in the last phase. I don't remember exactly what Howling Pit was again. But yeah, the Light of Verendil system to me was more annoying than anything. With the raid, I don't know how long that'll take. I assume it's a relatively quick raid, being just one boss. I don't know if there are any trash fights with it leading up to the boss, but I assume that will be relatively quick, but hopefully it won't take up the main chunk of the time today and we can actually get some progress on these quests. I should probably play with floating names on again. There's so many things going on in the environment, like all the NPCs here, ones that I can actually attack that are actual, like, characters, I guess, versus just things in the environment. Like all these orcs and dwarves, they're just part of the environment. But then the actual NPCs, like those ones I actually need to pay attention to, and getting all these things on the ground. Floating name's useful for that with all these helmets, swords, shields, whatever else we're getting. Okay, so there is a necklace that you need for the Secret Stones quest that you need to do Howling Pit to get. Interesting. And that's the main reason people still do it. I'm not sure what the Secret Stones quest is. If that's something in, like, Azanulbizar here. B. Hamby, I am not European. I am from the USA, America. I think that's the first time I've actually been asked if I am European. The one outside of America that I have been asked or said that people thought I was Asian. But I'm not sure anybody has thought I'm European until now. I like the glow of my weapon. I am noticing that now that it is dark out. Hey, it looks like we are grouping up. I'll go ahead and join them on Discord. So I am going to join my kin on Discord. I know that doesn't happen too frequently with my kin on Arkenstone, but essentially I'll be on push to talk, and they will be playing through my headphones while I have LOTRO playing on my speakers. So yeah, that is what will be going on, but one thing I do want to point out is I'll probably have to have a few more quiet periods than normal, because I'm guessing we'll get some raid instructions and such. This is very low FPS. People always talk about lag in LOTRO, and usually I don't experience it as much, but really getting some today. Not just with the FPS, but a little bit serverish lag there. Okay, I also have to go on push to talk. Okay, so everything is set up there on Discord. We are all connected. It's been a while since I've done something with this kin. Hello. But yeah, since I mainly play on Anor, it really has been a long time since I've done something with this kin. I started playing with them a lot more when I was catching Luiden up going through the Minas Morgul content. And then, basically, when I was wrapping up with the Minas Morgul content, we had Update 28 came out. So I was playing with them a lot, and then for essentially the end of 2020 and most of 2021 so far, I've basically been playing on Anor. Is there somebody else here? I thought I saw something hit the orc other than me. Oh, I have to adjust the volume of everybody on Discord. If there is slight background noise, like y'all can hear the voices slightly through my microphone, I'm not sure there is much I can do about that, just as a heads up. Because one thing I like about my headphones is they are open back. So it's basically just as loud on the other side of the headphones as it is on my ear side. But then that means it is sometimes picked up by the microphone. This is a good spot for me to not been paying attention to what is going on as far as my questing goes, because I can just collect all these things and kill things, I think. Yeah, the orcs, I still need to kill them. At least some of the orcs I need to kill them. I'm having a lot of lag here. I keep missing my gambit builders, and I notice my health is also going down. So Plastonic, you say it's a lot of go get me this type quests, and you think they did not do a good job of quest progression here? I'm actually excited for the questing. I know I'm having a ton of lag right now and hardly even able to use my gambits or see the health of that orc. He went from like full health to almost 0 health, but I was just not actually displaying that. Which is the exact issues I've been hearing a lot of people are having. But because I have not actually played here until now, I have not had these issues. I guess it's the benefit of playing on a low population server, perhaps, is. That is a good reminder. I still need to discover this. So I forgot I had to still discover the raid. Fortunately, I already know where the discovery is, which is right outside Moria, basically at the east gate, Khazad-dûm there. So there's a decent-ish chance I die running through all these enemies, but that is where you discover the raid. Fall of Khazad-dum is right up there at Khazad-dûm. But hopefully I survived just long enough to discover the raid. Oh, floating names on is really tough here. Yeah, I didn't even have a chance. Probably just wasted that potion, but we'll go ahead and retreat. And I should now be able to travel. Barely made it before I died. We're back in Moria. For some reason, this is not what I expected when I stepped into the raid. I'm trying to even picture where this is. So this is, if we go to the regular Moria, this is first hall, second hall? I don't remember exactly what it's called. First hall. So this is first hall. You go up here and around here, I guess, is where we are. Can't use any mount, it looks like. So you were wondering if I have a favorite raid to run. One of my favorite raids is actually, I'm trying to think of the name of it. I shouldn't have to think of the name of it if it's one of my favorites. Okay, I'll go ahead and give a bonus answer. Fillical, the turtle. It's a super simple raid, and I thought about making a video on this topic, but single boss raids. As long as I don't accidentally pull the boss, then I think I can run this way. I'm just running to the things on the mini-map, and it's kind of concerning. It's like an eerily quiet thing.
We have no choice, Thrain. Shame our folk to let the kingdom fall without a fight. Time has come.
But the raid, I'm thinking it's Thorog, Heligrod, that is the name of it. Thorog is in it. But Heligrod is a raid I really like, which is odd because it is a giant raid with tons and tons of trash fights, which I usually don't like, and the trash fights are really long, but it's such a fun raid. The trash fights are actually fun, which is weird. Do I have raid chat enabled here? I do. Nobody is talking in raid chat. Okay. Okay, it is good to know that I can keep going and it's a long run. Just being my first time in the raid and not having anybody to follow through this, I don't want to accidentally start the actual encounter. And yeah, that's one reason I'm excited for this raid, because I do like single boss raids. And as far as I know, that is what this is. Okay, there is Formath Firmhand. Here's everybody. Am I allowed to step in the water? I do not know. I do not want to test it.
adventure and retake our kingdom for the honor of my father.
Looks like we have some out of kin people. I think about half the group might be my kin running this. That armor looks quite fancy. And Keck, how many people play this game? I don't really have a number of how many people in general play this game. I think it was actually published in the, what was it, like shareholders or investors presentation from EG7 a while back for an actual number on that, but I forgot what the number was. But yeah, unfortunately I don't know the number, but just for on this server, which is one of the more populated servers, at peak time on Sunday evening, there are 592 non-anonymous players. The problem with using a number like that you see in game is you can check anonymous and then you don't display, so it's really hard to know the amount of people who are anonymous and to count them in the total. Ooh, the ring was tough in the Rift. So you enjoyed running Rift and Helagrod on your Guardian, and back when BPE were percentages and maintaining threat was exciting and difficult. Yeah, tanking was way different back then. Oh, I am running fast. I was running fast. Take it where you're going. Cannot harm target. Not on line of sight. There we go. That was really weird. I should probably play in the red line, I'm guessing. I'll see what they want me in. Do y'all want me in yellow or red? Warden? Yep. So we're stuck in combat, but I am probably going to switch to red line. Problem is I have too much fun in the yellow line, I forget to actually DPS sometimes. This is the red line, yes. I do not play on Firefoot. Yeah, and also with Firefoot, that server is not open anymore. I never did play on Firefoot to begin with. Aggressor. We do not have a assist target. I don't know what I expected in this raid, but this is what I should have expected. This is basically a thing of Moria. Is this red line? I do not have spear swiping on this red line build. This character, because I don't play him that frequently, I forget what he actually has with his traits. actually forget the first type of mobs we killed. Oh, the deep claws, that's right. Yeah, so far we're getting a good taste of Moria though. I don't know if this is just if this is an actual like trash fights before the boss, or if this is just something that goes on. I would guess the former. Abysmal Bogmal. These almost looks like mini bosses. Yeah, we have target assist now. I don't know what gambit I have built up. We're killing the blazing guy first. It's also been too long since I played the red line. I could honestly almost do more damage in the L line potentially on this character just because I'm more familiar with that recently. Do we have another Warden in the group? We do not. Those bleeds are all for me. DJ, I mean the Warden, and speaking of Warden, I probably do not have the best rotation to follow right now. One reason I'm so quiet right now is I'm actually trying to remember which gambits to use when. This one's a little bit better. I'm actually top of things. There are also so many debuffs. I know there are plugins to help with that, but I don't use any, and once there are this many rows of debuffs, it's really hard to actually see what is going on sometimes with my own stuff. Looks like you can stand in the water, by the way. I know I was concerned about that earlier because it looked like some spooky water. So it sounds like on tier 2 plus the trash mobs can actually hurt stuff. That is good to know. It seemed like just really simple fights to start. But last two blazing guys at least got a little bit more complex. Do not know what these two cloudy things are. I don't know if we're already on the... We have to stack on this guy, by the way. I don't know if we're already at the Balrog. If so, that's screenshot time. I need a screenshot of that door. Him. He actually looks a little bit more fleshy than usual. Oh. I don't know if that's a good way to describe a Balrog, but compared to the other times we have seen Balrogs in LOTRO, which I guess would be in the Rift, and I think you saw this guy in actual Moria. And then there's also... what's that one place called? Dunhoth, maybe? There was a Balrog? If I remember correctly. I don't remember which Balrog, but they looked a little bit more shadowy, I guess. And this one almost looks more gargoyle-y. He's got a neat look to him. The sun is in the way. Okay, I can jump and get a screenshot. Ideally, these screenshots will be good for thumbnail backgrounds. Unfortunately, when I take screenshots, that's what I think of too much. Okay, so we're good to DPS. Oh, missed that. Now I am lagging. We're off to a really poor start on this fight. That's something I notice sometimes playing MMOs in general. When you fight giant things, you're just staring at their feet the whole time, and it's really weird. I don't think I've used one bleed successfully yet, and now I just missed another one. It said you cannot harm yourself randomly. Okay. We really are off to a horrible start. At least I am off to a horrible start as far as damage goes. I also don't think I've debuffed him with my javelins yet. Okay, let's try to do better this time. There's a bear just sitting there. Uh-oh. I just heard the word run. See, that would be a great opportunity for a screenshot, but I felt the need to run away. Where is the sun guy? So DJ, you are going to pick Lore Master, which I think is a fun class. For some reason, I keep using my gambits, but I don't see their actual effects being applied. They might be. There might just be too many rows of things it's not showing. But that was weird. I feel like after this many rows of debuffs, it just stopped showing things. I'm not used to that being a thing. Hey, Mistweaver. Okay, still stacking on the sun guy. That's Durin's Bane, he has a lot of health. So please no spoilers on the ending of the raid. Uh-oh, did I die? Oh, I did die. Somebody's trying. Oh, we're at our revival event, maybe? Do we have a revival event? Oh, the reviver has to be alive. Okay, there we go. I think that was me not paying attention if I had to guess. I could have just been one shot, but it's probably because I wasn't paying attention. I'm going to give myself a hope token. I've also not been using Unnerving Strike, Raged Unnerving Strike. There's a hope token. I also didn't use food at the start of the fight. Okay, some people are running away. Oh, there we go. Okay, I see. That's probably what I got caught on last time. So you have to run, I think, as late as possible, it looks like on that. That's why I shouldn't read chat. Like, the chat is okay during fights like this, but that's why I should not read chat during raids, especially raids I have not been in. And thank you for the compliments, BHamby. I have not been able to read them all yet, but okay. I think we need our treasure donkey. I actually don't know if range enduring strike. Oh, run there. Well, I didn't die that time. I don't even know if I lost health that time, to be honest. Oh yeah, with the spoils, I meant more so for the story. Mechanics are good to know, but for some reason I feel like Durin's Bane will survive this. That is more what the spoilers were about. What are these weird buffs? Are these essence buffs I'm getting? Interesting. I'm not used to playing with those. Oh, that was a lot of debuffs right there. A lot of tier 0 damage over times. Yeah, with this many debuffs, I just cannot tell what I have and have not put on him. So we're on the last phase, apparently. This is tier 1. Definitely. Jumping in above tier 1 would have been really scary. Okay. So far the fight seems straightforward. Definitely an interesting fight so far. I'm doing really bad with my gambits, I think, again. Okay, here's the sun guy. That's who we're supposed to be stacking on. And with all the debuffs again, I can't really tell. I might actually have to get one of those plugins to track the debuffs. Usually I prefer, in games in general, to play without plugins, but that is something that actually seems like it'd be really helpful right now. That's so weird that you move. Oh, I barely got caught on one of those. So with the rubble, the mechanic sounds like you need to run as late as possible or the area will just get bigger essentially to cover everybody, I guess. We're also not stacked all that tightly, it seems like, which I guess those are more NPCs rather than PCs? Player characters? Actual players? I am in range stance. See, I reverted to playing as if I were in the yellow line, actually. Oh, we almost have him halfway down. I don't think I've used a bleed in a while. I also don't think I have my javelin debuffs up. Yeah. Yeah, on tier 1, hopefully it's easily doable by pugs for some loot. Oh, that was it. For some reason, I thought we were like halfway done. I really did not know that the fight was done. That is neat. Ooh, and I got a piece of loot. Here's the actual cosmetics. Cannot equip that. I got a leafless second hall wall. If only I had a house. That's very neat. So the chest piece, it has 3 essence slots. That's a lot of essence slots. That's one thing I actually liked about newer gears. It seems less essence oriented. But now, Fall of Khazad-dûm seems more essence oriented with 3 essence slots. Probably want this new piece. I don't know how my finesse is doing on this character. Looks good. Crit looks good. I'm really interested to get like a full cosmetic set of this. It looks like the donkey worked. Somebody got the heavy armor version of that. Somebody got the shoulders. Yeah, the shoulders look pretty neat with that. This is the type of cosmetic I was talking about. Oh, you can't change the color of those though. I was talking about wanting new cosmetics for this character, but okay, so tier 2 is set bonus on armor, and tier 3 you can get golden boots and cloak. It's always good that the higher tiers are more rewarding. I assume you can also get essences to drop, and perhaps at higher tiers trigger essences or something. Yeah, it looks like somebody got an essence box. Fall of Khazad-dûm box of skill for legendary items. So tier 4 legendary item, finesse or critical rating, title of your choice. Alright. That person looks like they have shoulder guards and headpiece, maybe? What's that? But yeah, the actual boss fight there was pretty fun, I thought. I just thought it was going to be a super long fight because we were only halfway down on his health, but apparently you need to get him about halfway down and then he starts destroying Moria or something. I wonder if anybody would want that. Got a lot of marks and medallions from that. Cannot do that in combat. So, Mistweaver, you are disappointed with the set's look? Yeah, I'd have to see the full set, but I'm actually interested in it just based on the chest piece. But I am disappointed that you can't dye it. If you could dye that color, or even the lighter shade of gray, if you could dye that something, that would be most interesting to me. Alright, I believe we're pretty much done. I don't know if my kin might try to run something else. Yeah, thanks. I'll go ahead and just leave the raid. I want to look for a moment at this character's portraits. But yeah, that raid was pretty simple, at least on tier 1, as much as I did actually die once. It was fun. It's also something simple. It didn't take all that long. And get good loot and all that sort of stuff as like a single boss raid. I like that aspect of it. Hello Niesha LOTRO. I am doing pretty well this evening. Just got done with the raid and have probably about an hour or so left of questing. There's a quest that gives a goat for completing the raid, and I have definitely not gotten to that yet. I think I heard about that quest, and it's probably near the end of the storyline if I had to guess. But I'm not sure, like end of the zone quest. Oh, I still need one more dwarf shield. I think I remember that. Maybe I was a little bit too far north. T1 feels like a skirmish, and T2 plus makes you sweat a little bit. Yeah, tier 1, especially for not doing it and not paying attention all that much. I am bad about paying attention in raids sometimes. There is fire falling. That is interesting. This is honestly the first time I noticed that actual fire is falling. Can see the ash a little bit, but this is the first time I noticed fire is falling out of the sky. I also think it's good that the higher tiers are a lot harder. Oh, it's a bug that fire is falling? That's honestly a little bit of a sad bug in a way. I think it's pretty neat. Oh, it's effects from the raid? Wow. I was like, I really didn't think I noticed this earlier. It seems like it'd be an obvious thing here, like running through a rain of fire, but it also didn't make much sense at the same time. But let me get caught up with chat a little bit. I know I was missing a lot of stuff during that fight. Okay, so B Hamby, if you are still here a long time ago, you were talking about, oh, my video content. I'm glad you appreciate the work and glad it is helpful. Let's see, I think I caught up on most other things. So the heavy set doesn't quite look like the true Dwarven frontline soldier. I still have to see the full sets of those. And Keck, it can definitely take a very long time to reach max level, but it depends how you play. If you like try to level fast, it can be pretty quick, but you also have to do a lot of progression things for your character, and I am lagging. I am in red line, I want to be in yellow line for landscape. So for some people, I know it can take many years to reach max level. And then for some people, they can probably do it in a few weeks, even a few days for some people, but sometimes if you try to level really fast, you will miss some of those progression systems for your character, like trait points, even virtue traits, and the other thing would be legendary items, but that one's a little bit less so, I would say. I don't know what I am doing. I was just getting distracted by the fiery rain. So I found myself in another orc camp, which seems reasonable. And I found a dwarf with a quest. Reclaim the dwarf packs or defeat Borbak the Share. I'm guessing we'll defeat somebody. So much lag here. I'm still seeing if my kin might run something else, but we'll see. Yeah, exactly what Abomination there said. If you just try to reach max level in a few days, you won't get your trait points and virtue points from deeds, which will make you not that useful of a character for end game content. Might run Shakalash. There's somebody here being quite helpful. I think I'm still in red line though. If there's a spot open, I'd go. There is a spot open. So it looks like we will be doing the Shakalash the Stair Battle Tier 2. So we get a little bit of higher tier content, not much higher, but I have run tier 2 on this character. I don't think I've run a tier 3 on that yet. The problem is it has been a long time, so I have to remember the mechanics, which I think are mainly with the second boss. I remember that one being the only one that I actually remember us ever having trouble on. And this character has had some gear improvements since then. Maybe. Oh, this was the piece of gear. So I have an Old Forest Will of the Willow shoulder pads equipped. And I equipped them because the essences I had in my better piece of gear, which is the one on the left, they aren't good essences, and I'm otherwise out of essences. So that is how the non-essence armor ended up being better, even though it has the potential to be better if I actually had good essences to put in it. But that's the problem when you don't play a character for months, is they don't tend to naturally generate essences randomly. Barrel of Armor. At least I'm able to get some of these quests done. Oh, I wonder if that was that Runekeeper. Seems like a good name for a Runekeeper. Okay, better get to a safe-ish spot. By the way, this is the axe guy that it said either collect the axe or defeat him. It looks like defeat him was my choice. I will assume the middle of the bridge is actually the safest spot here. Still have fire raining down in here. I know it's a bug, but it's enjoyable to have that raining fire effect from the raid. But at the same time... Oh yeah, by the way, Lucian, I missed your question there. I got to Kek's question about reaching max level, and then I forgot to go back to the other messages I missed. So you got an Unearthed Ally Sword. After imbuing it, became 433 item level. Used Amphila Scroll of Delving. Went to 340? Do these have an actual item level? Perhaps you're meaning this level right here, and you might just need to actually level it up, put things like heritages and these such like that potentially. Okay, for this I will try Yellow Line. I'm randomly running into a lot of people that watch my videos today. This is actually the only person out of the kin in the group, I think. I'm pulling both sides. I remember one time my kin was running this and they had some sort of system down where I accidentally started attacking things too early, so I'm going to make myself wait. As fun as it is to jump in on the AoE as early as possible, I sometimes prefer to not cause messes. Now other times when I actually know what is going on, I can intentionally like to cause chaos. Oh, lag there. Wonder if I should remove my debuffs, maybe. There are some goblins in the back. So Mistweaver, you got your burglar to level 130 after sitting at 128 for six-ish months. That is quite a long time, and it actually reminds me of my warrior in World of Warcraft Classic. It was at like level 57 or something. Ever since I last played that, like, I don't even remember how long ago, but that is nice that you finally got your burglar to the cap to 130. I am getting no procs right now. I at least got a few of the barbed javelin bleed triggers there. My morale is really low. At least it seems really low compared to everybody else in the group, but... Uh-oh. Did I pull the boss? I don't know if the tank has aggro. Okay, I think the Guardian has aggro now. I'm gonna use my debuffs. I don't think we interrupt this. Ow. Sleet Storm. That did not do that much damage to me. Maybe it did. Okay, it did a lot of damage to me, actually. There were a lot of Sleet Storms there hitting me. I forget what the Sleet Storm is. Extremis, this is Shakalash the Stair Battle, which is a War of Three Peaks level 130 instance. It is the 6-man that came with that update. I agree, this is the hardest boss in the instance, and I honestly don't remember that Sleet Storm thing. All I remember is when he does, maybe it is the cold will grip you, he does some voice line and induction where you just have to run behind him. And otherwise he does some danger stuff that I don't remember exactly what it is. Maybe it's May the Storm will take you. But whatever the Sleet Storm thing is, that is what killed me this time. And I know there's some weird stuff about interrupting him, where like if you interrupt him, he does some dangerous stuff. Okay, so Extremis, you are on the same server that this character is on. I haven't been on Arkenstone all that much lately. Been usually playing on Anor. Should see me here a little bit more just because I'll be going through the update 30 content. As slow as it has been, that is the plan. And you said you have a 124 burglar, so you're getting pretty close to this. If you're leveling through Minas Morgul, War of Three Peaks is a bit after that, if you go through everything in order and even have this mini expansion. But that is where this instance is from. Probably doesn't look much like Minas Morgul with it being so snowy around and all that. They might be able to get him down. I'd say it's unlikely, but it's possible. Okay, so you have both Minas Morgul and War of Three Peaks, so you will have access to this instance. I believe to run this one, all you need to do is discover it and be level 130. Okay, let's go ahead and retreat. I don't know if I accidentally triggered the boss there, but I know he ran to me at first, so I'll be extra careful to stay far away. Who do we want out? I also don't have a pet out. I think I like the little Mumak. The LOTRO store is broken right now. Is it? Oh. It appears to be working for me. Unless you mean the one on that website store. Like the market store thing. Okay, let me actually use my consumables this time. Ooh, I think this was from Rumor Chain actually that I got this earring. Okay, so it's the website store. And Wizco, you were wondering if I like the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and I have never played it to know. Okay, so we are going with the bear, because the bear is healing, the guardian is tanking. This time we're going to try to be a little bit more useful. Also have to remember I'm playing the L line. I think I was starting to treat that like the red line last time. There we go, got a trigger. Okay, I believe we are good to go back in combat. Don't run through him yet. Run through. Yeah, chill them to the core. That is the one. That is the one that you run through him. I think if I turn floating names on, I would be able to actually see the induction bar and it would be helpful, but for some reason I don't like floating names. Okay. This is very slow. Okay, we got him killed. That was a very bad end of my damage chain. I didn't do much damage in the end there. Did we loot the chest? Hope I have good luck. Oops. So I think for me, the ideal loot is actually an essence instead of a piece of armor. I wonder essences. I forget if those are bound to account. Yeah, it looks like you cannot. That's what I thought with these new essences is you could not trade the boxes or anything like that. I think we are the only two here in the garden. Me. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so with the LOTRO store, the LOTRO market is if you have new accounts, they can't log in and you get an error when you press buy. You know, a lot of people have had issues, I know, with the LOTRO market. This is a new one, as far as not being able to press buy even for new accounts. Seems like that's something SSG would really want to work their store so people who want to spend money actually can spend money. And do I like Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion or Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind? I also have not played those. I haven't played any Elder Scrolls game. So same with whatever Elder Scrolls, the original and Elder Scrolls 2 are. I'm not familiar with those either. Or Elder Scrolls Online ESO. So this fight, it is the left one first. That is all I know. I think some fire is leaking from the ceiling. Oh no, I used the boot on accident. That was a problem when you try to do gambits too fast and then you just mess them up. Like that. Looks like there are interrupts, actually, but everybody else has that covered, it seems like. PewDiePie or T-Series? I do not watch either of those, but if I remember correctly, isn't it like T-Series? I don't even remember. I thought it was like kids' TV shows, but I don't think that is the case. Ooh. Yeah, that's exactly what I needed. Yep. I think I'm still getting physical mastery essences, I believe. I'm actually really close to cap on physical mastery. So I might actually be close to needing vitality essences. Tactical mastery, tactical mitt. I could probably put tactical mitt. So these shoulder pads, to make them useful, perhaps I could do a mastery essence and do the tactical mitigation essence and replace the old forest shoulder guards there. They do music in India, that's what it was. LOTRO or WoW. Right now that would be LOTRO. Fairly easy. Speaking of LOTRO and WoW, these two games happen to be MMORPGs, and in the near future I have real plans to try a different MMO that I've never played sometime this week, so be on the lookout for that. Perhaps we can add one more into that question. Don't know why, but that troll seemed to like me. I don't even feel like I'm doing all my best with the gamepits right now, but they want to attack me. There's one in the back there still messing with people. So the MMO I will be trying is the exact one that Kevin said to not say. I've had a few people on YouTube over the months recommend it to me, but now I've had two people that I know in real life heavily encourage me to start playing, we'll say. Oh no, something wrong with Final Fantasy XIV? I know it's an Eastern MMO. But I am actually excited to try it. But I'm also at the same time bad about trying new games. FODB. What is FODB? Fall of... I feel like that'd be in the new raid, Fall of Khazad-dûm, but it's FODB instead of FOKD. This boss, I don't even know his mechanics. He just dies as far as I know. And he has a really long phase here of not doing anything. I really do like this boss though. Just getting rid of the goblin. So Timbo, you say Final Fantasy XIV is a lot of fun. That is good to know. The concern I guess I have about it, I know basically nothing about the game, and I intend to know nothing about the game going into it. But I have heard that it's very story driven and even cinematic driven, where paying attention to that stuff is really important. So that's going to be a little bit of a different pace for me than I am used to in MMOs, but because I know that, that's something I can actually pay attention to. In a game like LOTRO, there's also a lot of story-driven moments, but because I am so conditioned to not paying attention to those in LOTRO, I have a hard time paying attention to anything like that in LOTRO. And also in LOTRO, what was I gonna say in LOTRO? Yeah, in LOTRO, a lot of the story-based stuff is just text on the screen rather than actual cinematics and all that. So Mistweaver, for you, Final Fantasy isn't for you. And you said you know that without even properly playing it. You don't like the art style they have. And yeah, that is something that will be, I'd have to get used to, is the art style. The closest thing I've played to something like that is probably Guild Wars 2. I believe that is pretty much everything we have. So I'm going to go ahead and get my essences settled. I'll get another physical mastery one and equip these shoulder pads. Put them in here. And we will slot over that one. And then I have a tactical mitigation one. We'll slot over the incoming healing. There we go. And my tactical mitigation is all the way up to 28.9% with that. Okay. I wonder, I don't know what the playable races are in Final Fantasy XIV actually. That's something I plan to discover all that on the day that I try it. The bridge actually was fairly safe because we were stuck between the goblins but don't have either of the goblins attacking us. So one thing I need to do is disarming blow. I still need to get armor barrels. Andrew, thank you for joining this stream and for the information on whatever zone I'm in. Azanulbizar. It's in the title of the stream and the thumbnail. But we have done group content, which was fun. Looks like our group was abandoned. I will see if we're running anything else before I disconnect from Discord here. Is there anything else this evening? Alright, I will probably hop off Discord. Thanks for the runs though. Okay, looks like we are done for now, which for the playable period I have left means I should be done. There are lots of works here. See, the concern with the landscape difficulty slider, I've talked about all the rewards and things like that, but for camps like this, to me, it is more fun actually having them easy and being able to attempt to do something like this and pull like 10 orcs at once compared to individually having like all the orcs be tougher. this type of situation I think I would miss with the landscape difficulty settings turned up without being in a group. With being in a group, it could probably still be fun. And that's a reason that I'd feel the need for it to be rewarding. So they mix like human and... Oh, my phone finished charging. That's what that was, but they mix like human and beast races. So, yeah, I heard somebody describe outside of the chat, but basically like cat ears on your head. And things like the Tauren. I probably could have done better AoEs there and got some more credit for those kills. But something like the Tauren... I should not loot that chest. I was about to accidentally steal that chest from the lore master who did all the work killing things. I need one of these barrels. Okay, got that quest done now. But yeah, something in between, like even more humanish Tauren. I guess that could be a little bit weird, and that's the type of thing, if I enjoy the game, that I think I might be able to get used to. I don't know. Wow, so much lag right here. Do I need moose? I do not need to kill the moose, but I'm going to anyway. What I need is to stretch my legs. Alright, so I probably should get wrapping up with this stream relatively soon, not right now. Oh. My health is low, but I did not need to use a potion. So what I'm thinking is I will see what I can get done. I don't think there's a stable master up there. I actually don't have anything showing. Let's show everything. There's a stable master up in the north, so maybe I'll try to head there actually. I know I ran through part of this, but gnolls as playable races. That would actually be kind of neat. If they're a playable race in WoW, as long as they are not Horde, then that would be okay. I think gnolls are interesting because unlike something like, what would this be? A neutral, faction neutral race like the pandas, Pandaren. I think they were called Pandaren. But anyway, unlike something like that, which is more friendly and good, gnolls are actually a little bit more evilish. I tried to run through that, maybe I shouldn't have. Okay, there's a good chance I die in the fire as soon as I spawn, so I'll use the potion. I probably shouldn't keep running through this because I'm going to get bombarded with more fire. So I'd either have to go through, well, now that I'm way over here, I don't feel like going and getting that staple master path anymore. But yeah, more neutral factions, that whole idea is interesting. I feel like with WoW at this point, the factions are more annoying than anything, the faction split, because the WoW world, the World of Warcraft world, is way more connected than it seems like it used to be when the game was made and they made the two factions and the faction split and all that. Because you can play with people across servers, which was an old limitation. This is also probably not a good idea, but there aren't any sappers here. They're the annoying things that do all the damage. So much lag. There are a lot of archers there hitting me. Hopefully they got hit by some of my debuffs. Oh. So much lag. That wasn't all due to the lag, but I missed a couple games there. that I feel like I can safely blame the lag. I was going to try to go back where I was and get like that last dwarf shield that I needed. I can always muster back in Azanulbizar, which I assume just takes me to Amdan. It doesn't even tell me. But yeah, my cloak is broken now, so whatever we have to do, it's going to be with a broken cloak. Yeah, I probably should have just ran away. I felt the need to kill the orcs though. The one time I did that before, it's kind of funny because I did exactly that same thing before and decided to run away, but this time I decided to attack. And it did not work out in my favor this time. I could also just get on my war steed and run through them, but that is a little bit more boring. World bosses committing... Oh, world bosses and classic committing genocide in the capitals. Yeah, by people just running away. Garadin. No, that's not Garadin, it's Galaradan? No. Galaradan. I don't know why it took me so long to actually process that name. There's Garadin, or some sort of creature. I forget exactly what they are in LOTRO. But then the quick L and R was tripping me up a little bit there. I removed my debuff, but apparently they're debuffing me even more. That is a champion just attacking with his bow there, but a little bit of help still. Okay, lots of lag here where it's very cluttered with all these stuff on the battlefield. That is where it's really laggy. I could probably turn my settings down, but they're already down quite a bit. And I'm not even sure, a lot of times when there's lag like this in LOTRO, turning settings down for me doesn't really help much. But it's possible that could be the case. If it is too annoying from the viewer's perspective, if the low FPS is too annoying, I can perhaps turn it down. Turn settings down, which would mean lower graphics visual quality. We are looking for a shield, by the way. I had a shield targeted. There it is. So as I get sort of close to wrapping up this stream, I know I haven't really gotten all that much questing done, but I do want to give a little preview of stuff coming up. And first of all, I was hoping to have a video tomorrow. This is one of the videos I was hoping to have last weekend. So I still don't have that. Yeah, this type of lag, that is exactly how I feel that you can't do anything about it. It just lags sometimes in LOTRO. When there's a lot of stuff going on, when there's a lot of clutter and a lot of objects and the such, and all these like dwarves and orcs being objects, all the dead bodies being objects, usually a bunch of that type of stuff just causes lots of lag. Also, there are actual enemies scattered in here. That is one thing. I am not a personal fan of battlefields like this sometimes, because these orcs are all environmental and it really doesn't make much sense that I can't attack them. And same with the dwarves here. They're just like endlessly doing these same animations over and over and over again. But Yeah, it's sometimes more of a distracting thing that doesn't really make much sense than, I guess, adding to the environment would be the main aspect of it, making it actually feel like a battlefield, so it does that successfully. I really like this fire effect that's still going on. Could definitely see it getting annoying, as I've already said, but it is pretty neat to have right now. There wouldn't be PvMP going on in this zone, but if there is PvMP, that would be in Ettenmoors. That would surprise me if PvMP could actually cause lag, FPS lag all the way out here. When if I stare at the ground, away from all this clutter, I got my good 60 FPS. But if I stare into the clutter, it's down to the 30s. Yeah, epic battles were very laggy. And war steeds can cause a lot of rubber banding and things like that. And also if you run through areas with a war steed really fast, you can sometimes get weird things in the landscape and get lag from that, it seems like. Although I think a lot of that stuff with war steed and running fast, some of it I think can be helped with like solid state drive. And also I randomly looked at my face cam and see the sun is shining behind me. It's being blocked by my monitor, I guess, because I cannot see that. But I don't have my windows open right now. I did have my windows open before the stream, but it was very windy. That would have been very loud. And you all might not have been able to hear me over the wind, but that aside, the sun is shining through apparently, but it's all behind me right now. Hey Lewis Ryder, glad you were able to catch me streaming again. I'm trying to think what I want to do tomorrow, what I can do tomorrow content-wise, and probably I'm trying to get this little video project done. And I have run into issues with OBS and the such. And also planning out, so it's actually a set of 3 videos that I was hoping to have basically all 3 videos up at this point ideally, but there have been other things that have not worked out where it being time sensitive is not an issue right now. Which hopefully the thing not working out can also be fixed. And basically I mentioned this before, but I was going to try to do an interview with LOTRO's new producer Reninia. And I contacted, essentially, Cordovan about it. But I have not heard back, unfortunately. And the funny thing is, Reninia, the producer, said that he would be open to doing interviews in the little thing they did last Friday. So I will try that again. And because of the topic of the set of videos, I wanted to do it all before the interview, before the potential interview. But things have gone slow on both ends, so that is all good. Learn of the orcs. I assume that is a deed and not a quest to kill 100 orcs. Although I would love a quest to kill 100 orcs. It's essentially the same as a deed. This guy just looked a little bit extra fancy, but I think he is just a bodyguard. Basically pointless to spear sweep on somebody like that, but it is fun. That's the problem with the yellow line warden, even the red line warden with sweeping, is it's fun, but the RNG part of it is annoying. But anyway, Mistweaver, you said Andang told you that war steeds were fine on the beta. I don't remember if I played I think I played one of those betas, either Riders of Rohan or Helm's Deep, a little bit. But They were fine in the beta, but then they did something to prevent people from getting places where they should not, and that caused issues. Yeah, I could definitely see that potentially causing issues, because with horse deeds, there are a lot of times you'll like rubber band or even randomly die by going places you shouldn't. And if you were able to go to those places, perhaps that's just less stress, potentially. I don't know why I'm killing these orcs. I was trying to make actual quest progress for a little bit. I think the Valley Stalkers, they're maybe the guys in here keeping the fires lit. So there's cut wood, fallen branches, but the Valley Stalkers, that's probably not much to worry about since I'll have to go through here anyway. What I'm thinking is I'll go... I don't know if there's actually a good way to Khazad-dûm. But yeah, I'll try to continue to do my outro stuff a little bit and get some progress on this quest. I think I pretty much covered upcoming content. I really don't have that much planned, unfortunately. The next chance I would get to stream is Wednesday at the earliest, I think. And that could potentially be the Final Fantasy XIV day. Or it could be a little bit later. I'm not entirely sure. I also want to do the Great Wedding. I could maybe do that Tuesday. But I am not sure exactly what is going on for me this week. So that's basically the way I've been the past couple weeks, is not sure what is going on, so I can't really share much specifics with plans. But either way, hopefully I'll have more content coming up and can get past this roadblock of these 3 specific videos, which is really just the first video. That for some reason, when I plan out videos, or I'll like plan out videos and then I'll go to record them, I'm having a blockage on how I can actually go about this video. I feel like my plan went all wrong and I've had to restart it essentially a couple times. And then there were other videos I was doing, so I thought about going back to that Redline Bay Warning video because it's 2 years after I made that video. I think I talked about this at one point. But anyway, I was planning on going back to that video and kind of revisiting that and seeing how it is today. But I wanted to do these other videos first, and I've basically been all slowed down because of that. And that is what is going on with my channel. I know the other thing I did start last week was the My Top 7 thing, which is something I do hope to continue other topics on that. But that was a video that I actually recorded like a couple weeks ago, as before Update 30 even came out. And I kind of forgot about it, so it actually worked out well because I didn't have anything else recorded, but still wanted to do something last week. But yeah, that I think is pretty much a solid update. And as a little recap, I need to go back to the forest. I keep going away from there because this is just like nice and open. I can breathe. I also need to get some yellowish screenshots here. Everything I have screenshot wise is all super blue. That's why all the backgrounds in these thumbnails have been basically blue, because they're of course screenshots of the zone. But the zone has always been blue when I played. Here it's a little bit more yellow. Got a good warm temperature to it here. It's also quite laggy right here. There is, I believe I can loot those. Loot both of these. These are frost rhymed Alex branches, Khazad silver. I like that they make the crafting nodes, even though they're still the same tier as the Morgul Minas-Ithil tier. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Minas-Ithil tier. They at least give these zone relevant names, I guess. I do like that. I also want to actually play through all the Update 30 content so I can do a proper review of it. I was able to do that very quickly with Wildwood because it came out during spring break time for me. And that meant I could spend a lot more time going through Wildwood. I think I did an all-day Wildwood stream and essentially got done with all the content between like my launch day stream and that stream. And I was able to do like a guide and a review and all that very quickly. And with update 30, it's almost been the opposite. It's almost going on 2 weeks since this update has been out, and I have done hardly any of it, it seems like. Alright, so anyway, in review for what we did today, got started with questing. I think I got a couple quests done overall and explored a few areas. And did the raid. The group content actually took a bit of time, so we did the new raid, Fall of Khazad-dum, which I thought was overall a fun raid. It was also fairly easy on tier 1. I was very surprised when it ended. The boss was at like half health, and then the fight just ended. I did not even know we were successful. But yeah, I did not think we would kill the Balrog. I still thought we might get him to 0 health and something else would happen. But I guess they didn't even want us to think we got him that far to being done. And otherwise, did Shakalash the Stair battle on tier 2, which was mostly successful, except for one wipe. But that was just because a fight was started on accident. Overall, that was fairly easy. And then did a little bit more questing. I will also update the title to actually say that I did the Fall of Khazad-dum raid, because that is one of the more interesting things that I feel like we did today. Did hardly any questing, it seems like. Didn't do hardly any, but I just, of all the quests I have, I don't feel like I made all that much progress on what is in my quest log. Apparently I have 50, showing 50 of 47 active quests. That is really weird. I don't know why it says it that way, but that is what it is saying. I need to repair. But yeah, that is all I pretty much have for today's stream. Again, looking forward, maybe on Tuesday I could potentially do some Midsummer for a little bit. On Tuesday, actually, it'd be more afternoon time if I can. And that is my tentative plan for the next time I would stream. And otherwise, I think I could spend tomorrow working on videos trying to get past this blockage here. But as far as this stream goes, I hope you all did enjoy it. Getting back to Azanulbizar questing here still makes me excited. Like, I'm still excited to eventually get through all these. I just think I need to better prepare tomorrow, maybe organize my stuff a little bit more before we start that and not get distracted with group content. As fun as the group content is, that has probably been my favorite part so far of update 30, is running the raid and even doing Shakalash there. It's been a while since I've run that, so it was fun. And connecting with my old kin on Arkenstone. All that was fun, and I hope you all did enjoy all of it in the questing. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, or becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining and chatting and watching, everyone.